Hello again. Uh, fucking chilling here. It's kind of a good place to like take a nap or chill. But it's been about an hour to let my other video upload. Somehow I already got a view on it. I like I don't know. I looked at it's like like 40, 50, 60 people have like seen your channel or something but I'm actually kind of like wow, it's surprising me. I don't know how because I don't really put a whole lot I don't really do all the description shit and whatnot. For all the tags. But yeah, that's where I've been chilling. I watched some more 40k stuff. My favorite Chaos God, which is Malice, which is like he's like canon, but he's not canon. Isn't like he's part of the story, but he's like not a part of the story. And his main thing is that he's like a Chaos God that's anti-chaos. Like his whole thing is like destroying chaos. So it's like I don't know, I kind of like that. I was also thinking about religion because I do believe in God, and but I seen a comment earlier. Someone's like, "Oh, how could you believe in God? Like, or which of the 3,000? You know, like there's that comment like, oh, like to be honest, probably all the religions are probably true in some sense. There is a reason why monotheism works better, because if you're talking about the idea of a God, it's like a omnipotent, sort of all-powerful being, and like it's you can't have multiple of that. There can only be one kind of thing. Wow. So monotheism works in that sense, and crouching down to get up underneath these branches. Uh, but when there is like multiple, they generally represent like different archetypal aspects of humanity. But I take it to another extreme, I guess, with that, because I think humans, or well, any creature that gets intelligence, because that's what evolution does. It takes things from very, very basic forms and makes it more complex and makes it more conscious. So there's going to be archetypal forms, and these are going to show up through fiction. So I actually take a lot of fiction as being sort of like God, like leaking through and trying to like show signs. And I get a little aggravated when mainstream religions insist that their way can be the only way, and I think that goes back to like the Tower of Babel, which humans were unified under one language, and like most humans today, you'd be like, oh, that'd be great, that'd be wonderful, and you look at it back then, like if we had one language all the way that far back, and there was the ability to build this tower up to the heavens, whatnot. That probably means that there was like a priest class that had a whole lot of fucking power, and they were probably abusing the shit out of that power, and they were probably using slave labor. So I don't think God wants any one religion to be dominant. I don't think God favors Christians or Jews or Muslims or pagans or any of that. On paganism, I would say that way back in the day when humans were subject to like a tornado come through. Well, not even a tornado, because tornadoes fuck us up now, but just being outside, like when it's cold and you're like barely surviving in a fucking cave, and you're trying to fight like a woolly mammoth or some shit. People are gonna think like, oh, the forces of nature are God, so they're gonna worship nature. And I think as man has started to conquer nature and really desecrate nature, we've moved away from revering nature. Like if I see, like, I really love birds and whatnot, but if I see a bird, I don't think like, oh, that's the bird god or some shit. But there's still a reverence for nature, and I think a lot of the monotheistic religions have really they've really been subverted. Oh yeah, these are definitely like the animals definitely been laying down there. Uh, yeah, it's like really let's see how much we can justify building big ass giant temples with gold and shit, and which is ripped out the earth. And then they get into this whole thing of like, oh well, we're made in the image of God. Well, like man is making God in the image of man, which is kind of wrong. Trying to confine God to a book, to a single book. It's like no, God's like leaking through everything. Everything is sort of a sign. Like the yin and yang. I watched this Elliot Hall's thing on like he's got the 5 biblical principles of masculinity. It's a new thing he's got up. And at one point he actually broke out of the Catholic brainwashing sort of to like mention like yeah there's like some truth to yin and yang. This is really cool. But there is these like archetypal forms that show up again and again. And wow, I'm already almost back to the road. That sucks. I mean, I got to go back and I just get a bunch of little stupid. I'm like kind of like a hoarder, but I'm a hoarder of being like super fucking broke and not having many things. But I've just been wearing the same shit all the time. It's just what I'm used to now. But anyways, yeah. So like they take the the book is like oh the word of God. Like no, that shit was written by man. Like God inspired it. Like God might have gave people visions, and then they try to take what they seen and they write it down in a book. But that doesn't mean that book is perfect. I mean, there's really some science shit. Like you look at the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. No, that's not. Well, that's part of it, but the observer effect. That's what it is. Yeah, like the nature of an electron changes, like depending on if you're observing it and how. I'm sure entirely how I got the basic premise of it is depending on how you measure it, it's either it turned into a wave or a particle, and that's because like time is a collapsing wave function, and the electrons collapsing like into the like I got this whole theory about how time is real. Like we know time is real. Not all of us, but a lot of people are ignorant and they don't know time is real. They just say, oh, it's not real, just constant up to human imagination. Well, that's why we have proven time dilation as actually a thing. So I know God is real through like this really long, kind of complicated scientific process I'm not confined, like I don't have to have the perfect math and all that shit. A lot of people disregard me, but those same people are too stupid to, the science and mathematicians are too stupid to like look at the Bible and see like, oh, there's allegories here. Like if you ever try to take like the beginning of it when it's like, like the word, I don't have that shit memorized, but I've done it before where I've gone through and like looked at it and it's like, God divided the night and the day and all that shit. Well, you can like overlap that over the Big Bang and all that and whatnot, and it actually flows together really well. But I don't know. I'm trying to just go with it for as long as I can here. One thing I will say, because like I'm a tranny, and I'm an abomination according to the Bible. The whole thing with it's evil. Like I'm an evil person because I'm wearing feminine clothes. I'm not wearing women's clothes. I'm wearing feminine clothes. Like these clothes aren't designed for, oh, I'm pregnant or anything like that. Like that's what a woman, like women, they have periods, they get pregnant, all that stuff. I'm not like wearing a fucking pad or anything stupid like that. These are really just clothes. It's just a form of expression. So why that would be evil back in the day? I think it's like two reasons. One is the obvious one, which is back then they wanted as many sons as possible, and they wanted them to have, because you needed more farm hands and you need more soldiers. And if your sons are going off being gay, then they're not producing more soldiers, they're not producing more workers, more farmers. And it's so insidious because it's fucking evil. That's the evil. Is we need like strong families. Yes, we need strong families, but to say that every single person has to do this so that we can fucking indoctrinate them into a fucking army and go and destroy other people, like. But it was a matter of survival then, though, because you had tribes that were hunter-gatherers, and now they're settling down, and they settle down next to a different tribe that's bigger than them. They're going to get taken over. So there's social pressure there. I think the other thing is, there must have been like some sort of, a bit of it from the inspiration from God is like this, a sort of like inclination that one day shit would get way, way out of fucking hand. And that's what we're seeing now. I'm going through some of the prickies. I think these guns are no, they're not I don't know, there's a few of them there, the prickly ones I just crossed there. Yeah, we get the shit we're seeing now where, like, it's like a different kind of weird evil, because like women are being displaced, they're really being like degraded and stuff, and some of they're doing it themselves. Sorry to say, but a lot of it's because of like all this LGBT shit. Like men are not women. Men, no, like women have their own special place, their own special whatnot, and also there's like a lot of like really gay shit though. But without getting like a lot of straight stuff, the people, oh, that's straight. No, it's gay as fuck. But it's like gay in like a sort of like really super hedonistic way, and it really shouldn't be celebrated. But it's useful to the fucking New World Order, because if they can separate men and women and along those lines, or they can like use the LGBT as a fucking manipulation tool to destroy the family, like that sort of shit. So I think like there was an inkling of that and the original inspiration, but I think the main reason why that was there was to make sure that you had enough soldiers and farmers and stuff, you know, and also because fathers are always trying to manipulate their sons into be like, instead of letting them be themselves, which one of the worst things you could do is try to, like, if Alexander the Great had a son and he was like, I'm gonna be like my dad and conquer the world, well, it's already, nobody would give him credit, because it would always all be on his father's shoulders. And you know, it's like, maybe the son decides the empire isn't that great to uphold. Maybe he wants to be a painter. Like, you know, it's not always great if someone wants to be a painter and you tell them, no, you suck, you can't be a painter, go start an empire. It doesn't always work out so well. There's some referencing Hitler there, what happened with him. But I got 2 minutes left. So I guess moving on from that, Revelations is definitely taking place. Revelations is definitely happening. Like even at, like, how can non-Christians just like look at Revelations like, oh, that stuff's probably because Christians are like always crying wolf. Like every time something comes out, it's like, oh, they're gonna cry wolf. They cry wolf about like rock music and stuff, which is funny because a lot of rock music is actually biblical in a sense. It's actually maybe not biblical, maybe not necessarily religious, but it definitely ties into like shit that's going on. Like, but in a spiritual sense, that's what I put it, spiritual warfare. Which atheists they deny that. They deny that. Like, atheists are so fucking foolish. Even more foolish than the religious folk, I would say. But the religious folk tend to be mindless. So I don't know. You know, like, just saying Jesus come bail us out, and then like, I think there was one guy from Russia I've been following real quick. I guess he says that like even if you're not a believer, that's all right because God believes in you. That's been like the most awesome philosophy I've heard from a Christian. You know, it's like, yeah, as long as you got love in your heart, you know. Which that's what I take. But I'm out of time here, so that's my rant. And here, here's what it looks like around here. Really pretty. Bye bye.